Kempaluta, yeah. Ouch! Yeah. Me didn't know by acido. Nanka me did take ya kwamin got me a kwamin ba. Pressure kwana me damenda. Me didn't know by acido. They spit on my face, so they block our way, so yo. Na me na shira na shiwo. Me say what mama ya. Me say me chema o, yeah. Na me na shira na shiwo. Me say what chema ya. Me say me chema o. Me didn't know by accido.
If you're here tonight, it's for a good cause, and no time wasted. It's going to be a waste. We're going to turn it into a blessing. Amen. Okay. Are you ready for Tiffany?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't come that didn't want to put it for. I come on. See, I'm not going to pack this video there just for a Roma. It's Mr. B. So nativity now, your fit, we're just ready to receive and honor and also welcome our beautiful queen tonight. The book right, the latest, smartest young lady here tonight. What a beautiful husband coming in tonight. If you're ready, let's welcome Trust J, Tiffany, her latest, her only husband. Wonderful. DJ Crown watching, let's go right now. Let's welcome Tiffany. Tiffany, tonight we are all here to celebrate with you. First and foremost, we say akwaaba to you, and we say congratulations. Is that a word to use?
Yes.
Great, congrats to the beautiful thing you have done.
Thank you.
From your husband and all of us, we say eyiko in our language. That's right. But before we start, I have some few questions for you. Celebrate. It seems like this is a Tiffany style of word. One way now, but try creating the word celebrate. I went to the dictionary, Google, and all that. I couldn't find the word celebrate. So to start with, when you say celebrate, what do you mean by that? Why that word? And why that title? Celebrate.
So the book essentially came about, it's like notes that were gathered over a year now. And until one time after like prayer and reading the Bible, I went to sleep. All of a sudden, I just started feeling so intense just to wake up. I woke up and then I was like, I feel like I gotta get on my laptop. I went and took my laptop and then I started typing. I kept typing. By the time I realized, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. So then I looked, I said, oh my God, this is a lot. It was like 20 pages. So I said, okay, well, it's time for me to go to work. And then I got ready, I went to work, came back, and I reviewed it. And when I reviewed it, I added the notes that I had already gathered from last year. And then I started piecing and organizing it together. By the time I realized, I said, wait a minute, this is a book. This is a whole book. This is not just a diary, it's a book. And so I was like, so what am I supposed to do with this now? And then God is like, well, you gotta release it. So that's basically how that came about.
I was expecting you to put your hands together and just let's start celebrating. So please, next time when you suddenly wake up in your sleep, make sure you get your laptop closer and begin to type. But don't celebrate in your typing. That's right. So, after all those words you put together on your laptop, it came out to be something you want to share with the world. What is the major? I think this mic will bother me now, and I don't want to. For those of the people, or for those of the audiences who are kind of new to us, are you prayerful?
I'll say yes.
Great. Then I have a question for you. Do you have a personal story or testimony where prayer actually made you significant or made a significant difference in your life as a vendor?
Thank you for that question. I'll say as a vendor in the events industry, there gets to a time when you're a business owner, you start to realize that you can feel certain challenges when they come. When you really pray and dedicate your business to God, you can feel resistance when there's an instance of, let's say, all of a sudden there's a season that comes, you can see the bookings are coming in, things are going up, and then all of a sudden things will just stop. It'll just stop abruptly. You've seen everybody around you, everybody's working, everybody's being booked, and it's not necessarily about you being popular, but it's the fact that no, and this time I'm supposed to be working. Why is it that all of a sudden I'm not getting booked? Nobody's calling me, I'm not getting regarded. So when you start to look back, or you start to look, sometimes you can tell that that's when you know you're getting challenged. Because challenges come, especially when you're a Christian business owner. You're gonna feel the challenges when you're prayerful. You're gonna feel the resistance, like, wait a minute, this is not right. Something is not moving. You could feel like a wall or a barricade, like you cannot pass through that wall. So at that time, that's when you have to literally go to God and say, no, listen, God, this is not how I am used to certain blessings. Something is resisting me. What is opposing me? What is this hindrance that is before me, God? I need you to get it out of my way. I need you to you have to blow down this barricade. And then once that barricade is broken, then that's when you feel that freedom and you're able to proceed. And then that's when the success continues on.
Are you getting ready to read this book? No, in fact, are you kind of hungry for this book?
Yes.
I really want to get a copy of this book. But before that, can you share with us, if it's in your book, a practical kind of moment that you have, being vigilant during celebrations, like you mentioned that you've been going through challenges sometimes as a vendor, suddenly booking stops and all that. In your book, can you share with us if you have some practical strategies from the book that readers actually can apply to their day in or day out lifestyle?
Of course. I won't share the exact full detail. However, I will say that the tips that I did include is that when you're a celebrant and you're about to have your event, or you're preparing for your event, there are certain things that you have to do to be cautious. Number one is who you talk to. Some people talk too much. You think the person that you're speaking with means well. Unfortunately, I've noticed even as an event vendor, there are certain times where when your season of celebration comes, there are people who suddenly are not going to be happy for you. And that's just the reality of life, unfortunately. There are people, sometimes they are amongst your friend groups, your acquaintances, and unfortunately even in your family. So who you speak to matters. Have at least 1 or 2 designated people who you have prayed about, and you know that, okay, if I share with this person, they are someone who will give you wise counsel. There are some people, when you share things with them, they will give you counsel to derail you. They will throw off the course of your planning. They will throw off the course of your event, all to your own destruction, not for the betterment. So if you end up believing them, now you end up having some kind of issues happening within your event, and all of a sudden things are not going the way that you want it to. So that's one of the 2 things that I do discuss in the book.
Wow. So basically you're telling us that even in real life or actual life situation, there are 2 faces of every person. Ones that will give you best advice and ones that will give you the bad ones. But sometimes in our lives, we see that the bad ones even sounds very good in our ears. They sound more kind of beneficial. How do I then able to differentiate between the bad advice and the good one? Are you following my question?
I follow.
How do I know that this is the evil advice? Get what you pay for. How do I know?
Sometimes I feel like you can discern that by, because you don't want to base things on feelings.
Okay.
Put it toward the word, pray about it, actually pray about it. What this person told me, is it going to be beneficial for me? And someone who gives wise counsel will give you counsel they would analyze both sides of the situation. If someone is becoming too persistent on you doing something particular in a particular direction, you try to have to figure out, why do they keep pushing me to do that this way? Why do they keep pushing me to go this way? Or why do they keep pushing me to use this vendor or somebody that we know who is not a trustworthy vendor? So you have to kind of take the time to actually pray and try to take time and analyze what it is that they're saying, and not just take it and just go.
Wonderful. If I really understood you well from the early beginning, this is your first time writing a book, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Definitely, you might have faced some challenges while you were writing this book. Because even people who have taken upon themselves at book rights, they even go through a lot of challenges. Would I say, or can you tell us, if you had some challenges during the writing of this book, or because the Holy Ghost, the some challenges,
Yes, definitely. There were some challenges. I remember at the completion phase, or at least when I thought it was completed, I started having self-doubt. I started feeling like it wasn't enough. Because when you look at the book, you can tell it's not a big book. It's not.
Right.
I was thinking, if I'm writing a book, it has to be at least 80 pages, 100 pages.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I would pull the laptop back out, I would try to type some more. When I read it, it didn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
I would write like 3-5 pages and delete the whole thing. It didn't feel right.
Okay.
And I'm like, is this enough? I kept feeling like, but this is too small, it's too thin, like it should be a bit more, maybe it should be thicker. I keep stressed. I'll be telling my husband, oh God, he's been through so much.
So I'm ready.
And I'm thinking like, it should be like 3 times this size. But then every time I would keep typing, nothing felt right. And I would delete it. And then God is like, but it's enough. I told you this is what it is. Why are you adding anything else? That's not me. But the only time that I would add is when he would remind me of a situation that is related to a topic and say, no, you have to include that. And then that's when I'm like, okay, well now this flows better. So it's not about me. And another challenge was, there was an incident where I accidentally deleted the file of the entire manuscript, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I started panicking, and I had to call my husband to hurry up and come upstairs so we can figure out how to trace to open the file on Microsoft Word. It was gone. It wasn't in my email. It was nowhere to be found. So luckily we were able to do some tech stuff and we figured it out. And by the grace of God, it took like an hour, but the entire manuscript came back like almost 40 pages, and it was just gone, like nowhere to be found on the system. So thankfully we were able to find it, and here it is.
Celebrate! Are you celebrating? Are you? The only name, I'm trying to convince you to buy a copy of this. And one thing about me is that I don't buy things that will not suit me. So, which I know is very kind of fun with everybody here. Even before you buy your tomatoes, you touch them, you feel them before you take them, right? Before you buy your clothes, you touch them, you feel them. Sometimes you just measure them on them before you purchase them, right or wrong. So tonight we are measuring them. So what I said, I know we will see kind of ready. Now so by the shape book on the back. What I said. So please, even if you want a question that I will not ask, I'll give you the chance to ask her. Because I want you to be part of the celebration. We are celeprate. I feel the word celi is from celebration, like you said earlier. And pray is from prayer. So somebody was asking me, this guy just texted to me. So does it mean we should be praying whilst we are celebrating something?
Essentially, the point is yes, because even the Bible says to pray without ceasing. The thing is, when people are having celebrations, they get so overwhelmed with the planning process that they tend to put God on the sidelines. That's what the issue really is. You're overwhelmed, you're planning, you're putting things together, you're calling vendors, you're spending money, you're doing this and that, but then it's like, what about God? And then God is on the sidelines. You put him on the side. So the idea is to realize that when you're coming to have an event, you have to understand that attacks are going to occur. The Bible says the weapons will form, however, they will not prosper. Therefore, you have to be praying before your event, during your event, and after your event, because things can even happen after. So yes.
I love this part, and I know you do too. Thank you. You're a vendor, always celebrating. How do you hope Celeprate with influence readers approach both everyday moments and the life milestone through prayer? I think I've asked this question already, but somebody just gave me a text message. As I'm here, people are texting me. So if you see me reading from my phone, because people are texting me some questions. But please, I've asked this question already, but let me go to this one. How does Celeprate help readers create prayers that feel personal and meaningful for the different events, and even for those who may struggle with finding the right words?
I would say that this book is basically about strategy. Because it's a prayer guide, this is not just your normal reading book that you just pick up and then you read and then that's it, like a storybook. This is not a storybook. It's a prayer guide. So it's been broken into basically different subjects, and each subject has its own prayer points. And then with those prayer points, you're going to personalize it to yourself and relate it to your event. Anything relating to yourself or your child, if you have an event for them, or your family event, things like that. So it's all about strategy. And that came about because we're in the end times, right? And we have to understand that those days of just regular prayers where it's just a basic title to cover everything, like, oh, God bless my event in Jesus' name, amen. No. God, take it upon my vendors. Cover those who will be doing this for me. Cover the person who's going to do this for me. It's broken down into pieces. So when you read it, you'll understand why it was created in that manner.
Oh, so did you pray over me before we came here tonight?
Of course.
Did you pray about the DJ?
Of course.
The cameraman?
The decorators?
Yes.
Now that's why I came too early today.
The prayer works, so please. Is it a book that is just for people organizing events, as a vendors in Kwana, and I say it's for everyone? Because I hear you say event. Is it just for vendors or people having events?
So actually, it's not just for vendors or just for people who are celebrating. It's a guide to make you realize that even if you're gonna have a small dinner in your home, the fact that you're opening your home, like let's say you're about to have your birthday dinner and you're inviting some family, some close friends, this can also guide you on how to pray because it's a special occasion. If you're bringing people to gather into your home, it's not just because you went and got a venue. No. It can be a big event, a small event, an intimate event, an event of even just two. You're praying about everything that's included here. Why? Because you're going to use vendors one way or another. You may rent some things. You'll get some flowers. You're going to get some candles. You're going to get food and drinks and things of that nature. So therefore, you have to pray over every single thing. Even if you're doing something in your backyard, the fact that you're bringing people even into your home, that's something for you to pray about. So you're gonna have a reason to celebrate, be it your birthday, graduation, retirement, celebrating the life of a loved one or a friend, any occasion of any kind. This book is gonna be beneficial for you.
Sister Ivory, morning, I need to book on best of the time. Sister much of bones, we'll be on board in December. Come on. I just don't want to be blocking people's ears with too many talks. Yes, I am and I am boring. I could cut that off and come back later on. Okay? But before I go for a quick commercial break, I have the last question for you, then I'll go for the break and I'll come back if you're not tired of me. While you were writing this book, I feel like since anything that involves prayers comes with some spiritual kind of connection. While you were writing this book, did you kind of have any revelations or eye-opening moments about your own past events? If yes, share with us. If no, let us know.
Thank you. I would definitely say yes. It brought into remembrance that God has truly been faithful even when I was undeserving of His grace. I realized that God has always walked with me. Even when I felt like I wasn't good enough, or when I felt like I wasn't perfect, or no one is perfect, but even when I felt down, even when I felt high, when I felt low, God has literally always been by my side, and He has never forsaken me. He has literally proven Himself time and out. Even at the time when I felt like life literally brought me to the ground, God has always been there. He has always made sure to restore me. He has always made sure to show me that the reason why He keeps opening my eyes every day is for a reason and for a purpose. And even during my events, even when I experienced my own personal attacks or anything that I went through, there was always something positive at the other side for me. The challenges that I went through when my husband and I were getting married, during the time of my father and brother's funeral, during the time of whenever I had my birthday event, even back when I was age 21, he showed Himself and protected me. When evil arrows were practically plotted and literally at my doorstep, He literally made sure that I would overcome. Even if at that moment it didn't feel like I would overcome it, God made sure that I overcame. And I feel like that's the revelation that I got, is to know that God literally is there. He is there when you choose to depend on Him.
Are you ready to celebrate? Celebration. Yes. Tonight is your book launch night. How do you feel?
I'm so overwhelmed with God's glory. Like I don't even have the words for what God has truly shown Himself to do. I'm grateful to God. God is truly amazing. Truly amazing. And sometimes I just feel so undeserving of His grace. But the fact that I continue to call on Him and He continues to restore me. When there was a time when I felt like a failure in my life, I felt like a failure. Like I had nothing to show in my life. From coming home from school and calling my dad crying. And I said, Daddy, I failed. I don't have no degree to give you, to show you. All these years that you came to America, I don't have nothing to show for it. I have nothing to show for it. And then today, my name is on a book. At times, it can be very overwhelming, and I'll be very vulnerable and honest, is that when you're born and raised in America, and you're the first generation child of parents who were immigrants, the dream that they have is that they're here, they left their homeland to come and basically show that we came to work hard and that our children who we are bringing up will have a better life than we did. To have a better education, to go further in life. So imagine you're going to school, you're pushing, you're in class, you're taking tests, you think like, oh my God, like I need to get this degree, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then in the end, you don't get what you really truly desired or what you had pushed for. And then you look at your immigrant parents' face to tell them that I couldn't do it. I failed. I literally failed. But to literally sit here, and unfortunately my dad being late, he passed away last year. But my mother is here, my brothers, my sister-in-laws, to see that I didn't fail. It just wasn't my time yet. It just wasn't my time.
Wait, you just said something about your dad passing. I remember your dad on your wedding day. But we definitely will have to at least give him a standing ovation and a minute silence for her dad. But before we do so, if you have the chance to add any complimentary chapter to your book, what would that be? That's my last question.
Thank you. A bonus chapter that I may have added is potentially things that had to do with finance when it comes to events and money, because while writing, nothing about money came up. There was only a little piece that came up about money, but I didn't really go in details because I feel like us event vendors were very misunderstood in the industry that we work in. When you quote somebody or give them a quote, people automatically assume that the quote that you gave them, all of the money is coming to your pocket. They don't realize that there's expenses, there's bills, storage, your staff, transportation, things are eating up the money, your supplies, and sometimes you have to sacrifice your own profit just to ensure that you can even pay your staff. So that's probably something that I would have put in addition, so that when people understand that when we give quotes, it's not because we are wicked people and that we just want to eat people's money. No. Expenses are really serious when it comes to the event industry, and they're not going down anytime soon, unfortunately, but that's just something that I would have included.
Thank you very much. Everyone, shall we all last time, please? It's 9:23. At moments like this, when you really want to surprise some people, or when you work hard for people who were there for you to make you who you are, you can't celebrate without them. Those are the people you miss during such times. We are here tonight to celebrate Tiffany on her book launch. Something she never dreamt of. Something she planned to do for her parents And here's the case daddy is no more. In a minute silence, shall we all bow our heads and observe a minute silent for our daddy. The minute starts now. May the souls of your father and your brother rest in perfect peace. Amen. Put your hands together and have a seat. Okay, DJ, thank you. These are vendors who have been working with Tiffany in so many times, so many occasions. Before I start what I have to do with you, please, let's start by introducing ourselves. If you finish with the introduction, you hand over the mic to the next person and we continue from there. It's going to be very quick. I have 2,000 questions for you, but it's going to be very quick. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Please stand on the mic.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tiffany Adjei, and I am the owner of Kenkey Events. I'm an event designer and stylist, and I design weddings and parties. Thank you for the invite. I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Thank you, Kenkey. Caterer. Please, Beatrice, give the mic back to him, please. What's wrong, Kenkey?
Hey, my name is Gideon Asenso. Everybody know me as Caterer. Tiff is my sister. That's it.
The actual NASA. Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Beatrice Saki. I had an event, so I have a few things, a few experience to share. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Naomi Osei-Mensah. I am...
Please limit the voice. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Naomi Osei-Mensah. I am the owner of OM Occasions.
Can you see her? They can't see.
Hello. Okay, hi everyone, my name is Naomi Osei-Mensah. I am the owner of OM Occasions. As well as being an event vendor, I was also a celebrant, so I also have that perspective as well.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oxwell Ojo Rodriguez. Some of you guys may know me as Oxy. I am the founder and CEO of My Way Juices, also known as Juice It My Way, and I'm here to share some of my experiences with you guys today as well.
Good evening, my name is Jennifer Sewa. I am the owner of Looks Bridal by Tiffany Adjei. I am a hairstylist. I am grateful to be among all these great panelists this evening.
All right, let us stay with her. Please, thank you. Welcome. And we really appreciate your acceptance to be part of us tonight. My first question goes to you. How many years have you been in your field?
I started doing bridal officially in 2018.
2018.
And it wasn't something that I really enjoyed doing because working with people can be very stressful. But as the years went by, I really started to enjoy and have a passion for bridal hair.
Okay, thank you. Same question with Caterer.
I started my business literally during the height of the pandemic. So November of 2019, was when I started my business, and I saw that it started to boom during the pandemic because a lot of people wanted to kind of like shift and redirect themselves and start consuming healthy drinks, right? So that's when I started my business.
Oxy drinks.
My way.
Yes. Okay.
So my business, it's about 4 years, 2020. It's a pandemic business as well. During the pandemic, I decided to step out and start my own business instead of working for the man, as they would say. And I've been in this for some time. I used to always do events, small events for my family and friends. And 2020, I was like, you know what? I just got to take it full blown and just start doing what I love to do for my family and friends.
So I actually started my business as well in 2020, and the floor wrap that you see here on the floor, and as well as in the entrance, is my business also, Trust J Events.
Trust J. Okay. Same question. How many years experience do you have in your field?
She's a celebrant, so it'll go to Esther.
Hey. And what time?
I've been in the business for about 6 years now. I started when I DIY'd my friend's baby shower, and that's when I realized that there's this hidden talent. And so praying about it, I pursued this career. So it's been about 6 years.
6 years. Thank you. Next question will start from you. Okay. Have you personally, as a decorator, experienced what is believed to be an unusual, very, very unusual occurrence or spiritual attack when you're working on something for a client? Like spiritually, have you ever had a spiritual attack on you when you're working on a client's business? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I think that I come into contact with many different people, and there are some events that when you start talking to people, it just goes smoothly, naturally, like you don't have any interferences. But sometimes, I personally, anytime that I feel like I'm going to face an obstacle, I experience this anxiety, where it's like I get nervous. I start worrying about what's going to happen, and there's this fear that I have, and so that's something that is with me. So anytime that I experience that, I always have this inclination that something is going to go wrong, and that experiencing that over and over, what I did is that anytime that I experience that, I just make sure that I'm super organized. I have everything, and it also helps me become very expectant, like very super aware of what might go wrong during the day. So I think for me, it's just having that anxiety, that fear that something might go wrong. And when I do have that, it just helps me become more aware of what might go wrong, so I'm extra prepared for anything that might happen.
Thank you.
Could you repeat the question again, please?
Okay, I was asking if you might have had any spiritual attack for any clients who once booked you for the events.
So when I first started out, especially when you start a new business, any clientele that comes to you, you want to take it because you just want to build your business up. And my spirit, the Holy Spirit spoke to me when I was speaking to the client, and I felt in my spirit something was wrong, but not listening to the Holy Spirit. God would talk to you and He would tell you things, and if you don't listen, the outcome would not be great. And so I went against my spirit, and I continued with the events. And so many things went wrong. I mean, it was a catastrophe. And that was the first time I said, okay, if the Holy Spirit, God speaks to me and tells me something, I need to heed his what He's saying to me, because if not, it will be to my detriment. And when you're building a business, anything that happens, that's your name, that's your reputation. So once something goes bad, they don't know what may have happened, what the person was doing, what their family was doing, what money they didn't come up with. All they know is that you didn't show up, you didn't do what you needed to do, and then that's your name. So after that, I always say, if the Holy Spirit talks to me, if God speaks to me, and He warns me, He gives me warning signs, because The moment I was speaking to her, my spirit spoke to me, and I knew that I shouldn't have took the event. But being that I was new, I said, oh no, I want to build my business. You know what? I'll take it. I'll do it. And the moments, the next, everything, I mean, literally every second of the way things were happening, to the point where even at the events, the backdrop fell down. She has twin daughters. One of the twin daughters got locked in the bathroom. We had to break the door. The police was. It just was things after one after another. So I always say, God speaks to people different ways. God speaks to people in dreams. He speaks to, maybe through people. He will speak to whatever, however he communicates with you. Listen to him, because if not, you would see the other end of what has happened to me.
Thank you. Oxycodone. Oxy.
For me, mine is a little different. Mine wasn't necessarily with like an outside event. Mine was my own personal event. And it's two different occasions. So when I was getting married, I lost a friend due to misunderstandings. And at that time, that specific friend was the only person who was married within my friend group. But you know, she necessarily didn't do a wedding like mine. She did a court wedding. So when it came to planning, we didn't see eye to eye a lot. And as Tiffany mentioned earlier, sometimes you're speaking to people, you're talking to people thinking that they're in your corner, but they're not necessarily in your corner. It will redirect you elsewhere. And I felt that spiritual attack. And of course, during that time, we were also in the height of COVID, so we didn't understand what was happening within the world. We were just taking things as it was coming. But I became very prayerful during that time for God to basically help me see the things that I was not seeing, right? And help me understand some of the misunderstandings that I was coming across with my friend. Fast forward, I lost that friend, but it's not like I missed anything, and I gained the right individuals in my corner after the whole process. Second thing is when I lost my mother last year. You guys know in our culture, whenever there's death in a family, it can be good or it can be bad. The majority of the time, it's bad, which is like 85% of the time, due to how some of the elders want to take control, how some family members, right, look at you or think that they're supposed to have control because you're younger than them. But, you know, at this stage, we're like in our 30s. Basically, we're the new generation of the elders when they came to the country, right? So us preparing events, us doing certain things on our own, we're basically at the stage that they were at when they first came to this country. And that was a challenge within itself. You see people for who they are. You see people true colors. You see the battles that they will take you through and the obstacles that they will bring upon you due to death being in the family, and those spiritual attacks come along with that. But I had to learn how to pray a lot during those moments. And then I also found out I was pregnant, so to protect myself with that, yeah, I became very grateful. But nonetheless, it was a personal experience of mine.
So you became very celebrating?
Very.
Okay.
Thank you.
I haven't experienced any spiritual attacks, but before, like Tiffany was saying, our industry, it goes up and down. You may look at somebody and say, I didn't know who did, and I did also. Like in Penny Folk, where we said, and show be at the influence soon. And I said, and show be at the now I don't want to. So it's like, oh, this person is going up, why am I not going up? So it's like, every client that comes your way, you're gonna take it because you want your name also to be out there. But we fail to think to ourselves, like, what did the person do to get there? Like, how much money was invested? How many nights have they been fasting, praying? We don't look at what's going on behind closed doors because we don't see it. So being prayerful, or the book that our sister has wrote, you know, would be a guide for us vendors, because us vendors, we fail to pray sometimes because it's like all we do is think about money, want to be popular, but do you want to be popular and not know your work, or do you want to be popular and someone sees your work and say, this person is quality. I paid this amount of money for this person. I'm getting quality, instead of, oh, this person's trending. But then when I go and do my work, you know, they're like, oh, so is it just the hype, or you actually know what you're doing?
Thank you. So have you celebrated before?
Oh.
My last question for you guys. Have you ever felt in one time, twice, or how many times, have you ever once felt quitting from this job due to a treatment you had from a client or due to a bad experience you had one time? And how did you handle that? Why didn't you quit? Why are you still in? Do you understand my question? I know you haven't quit.
No.
You're still in the business.
Yeah.
And have you had a bad experience before that you once said to yourself you're going to quit?
All the time.
And why are you still in the business?
Because I have
Talk to the mic,
I have a passion for it. I'm not going to let what one person has done break me down and say, oh, I'm going to quit doing hair because it's something I like to do. I like to make brides look beautiful. You know, putting a smile on a bride's face on her day, because you don't know what she's going through. And being a bridal hairstylist, bride's event, like on the day you're going to do somebody's hair, even though they don't know you, they're going to let you know what they've been going through from the first day they started planning to the end. So it's like, that's also a plus too, because you get to know your bride more than just a transaction.
Have you ever fixed someone's hair, you went back, look at the person and said, wait a minute, you're crying. Have you done that before?
And I think that...
Did you give the person back the money? How do you compensate the person? Thank you. I really love it. I love that. I love to bother people. Don't worry about me, okay? Oxy.
So when I started my business, I was very local within New York City. And obviously my drinks were getting a lot of buzz, and a lot of people were putting pressure on me to go the e-commerce route. So for me to go online, right? I was very fearful of that. I was very anxious because I understood that my business was very different from a lot of people. Like, I wasn't selling hair or makeup products or clothes. I was making drinks, homemade drinks, right? So a lot of people were asking me to ship the drinks. And I didn't want to, but because I wanted, right, the business, and I wanted to get out there and I wanted people to support it, I shipped my drinks. All of the shipments that I sent out were damaged.
What?
Yes. Drinks broken when they reached to their destination. Bottle popped open once they reached to their destination. The wrong drinks shipped to the individual. And you know, obviously they'll share their feedback and kind of like tell me what to do in a way. Or maybe that's how I looked at it. Or you should do this, or next time you should do X, Y, and Z. And I think that didn't sit right with me. And then I was thinking, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. This is hard, right? This is drinks, like this is juices. How am I gonna make this work? I might need a shop or a store or something in order for this to succeed. But I know my product, and I know what I'm able to provide, and I know the worth of the product. So I said, let me just shift this now and just let people know I'm local. And once I get back on and rebrand, I'll figure a way to ship the drink. So at the moment, it worked for me when I became local, and I just continue to ship within New Jersey and New York City and New Jersey. And it was still bringing a clientele. So when people would ask, would you ship to me? I will say, not yet, but whenever you're in the area, you're more than likely to try this drink. And it works for who it works for, because I know I can't satisfy everyone, but at the moment, what worked for me was what I stuck with.
What drink did you make? Wow, tasty. I drink it in your crowd.
I actually made saw comment like that before. So when I was first starting, one of my close friends was like, this drink is very sour. And it kind of threw me off. because that's my friend, and I was expecting her to just like what I was providing. But at that time, she was my tester. It was a trial and error, and I necessarily didn't have like my measurements properly figured out. So with that comment, it actually helped create a structure for me to get it right, and I've been doing well ever since. Yeah, thank you.
And your fault. Next time, not too much sugar. It won't be sour. Thank you very much, Oxy.
Thank you.
So to be honest, right now I want to pause for my business. So
Due to your client?
I'm taking a pause from it because I also want to rebrand myself, and I want to do some more stuff, but I want to take my time with it. And just to let you guys know, starting a business is not easy. Small businesses, there's a lot of, people don't talk about the business depression that comes with having a business where you go up and down, and today you're okay, tomorrow you're not, today you're okay, tomorrow you're not. You see other people moving. Right now we're in the day of technology, and you see so much things on your screen, and that in itself is depressing, right? And so you have a business, you're investing all your money, and when you're starting a business, sorry to say, right? Friends and family they're not gonna support you until you get successful, right? We have this thing where people only know you for who you are in that moment. They don't know you as the designer. They don't know you as the...
Your voice is shaking.
Oh, sorry.
Your voice is not voicing.
Sorry.
You're not celebrating.
Sorry. No. Okay.
I said, oh, show who be. What is it? Now for me.
People don't know you for who you are in that moment. They know you for Oxy. They know you for Naomi. They don't know you as Oxy, the juice maker, or Naomi, the event designer. So, Wukoya Bibi cries like, oh yeah, she's doing something new. That support doesn't come until we're sitting on this stage right here and my girl got a book and we out here to celebrate. That's when it comes full blown. So when you're a business owner starting out, it's not easy. Money, you're looking for someone to give you a boost, some grants, something that's gonna help boost your business up so that you can get an extra person in there to do payroll, or get an extra person in there to do social media, or get an extra person in. There's so much things going in your head. And you are the secretary, you are the social media person, you are doing everything until that business takes off and you start making profits. So business depression is a real thing, and I tell you, right now for me, I have 2 businesses actually, and I couldn't deal with both of them. And so I had to go to what was more profitable. And so doing events is not that it wasn't profitable, but Ghana for more day, everyday discount, it does not work. How can I build a business like this if I have to put my money into it just to succeed? So, it's a level, business is a lot that comes with it that people don't see. They just see the glorification when you're online, and it goes to where it needs to go. So right now I'm on a pause, and it's just because of my personal reasons, as well as me wanting to wait to rebrand, to come out and just, come out big. But I just want you guys to know that it's not easy being a business owner. And those that are business owners, I'm sure you can relate to me. Those beginning stages, it's just not easy. It's just trial and error until you get it right and you get on track. But yes.
Aww. Thank you. Kirsty.
I think my sister has said so much.
What can we do?
Yeah, I will just add to her point, because starting a business is really difficult. And in the beginning stages, when I started, just getting someone to book you, just getting someone to say, I'm having an event and can you decorate for me? The person is like, they have so many expectations and they're not willing to pay you because you're a new decorator. And so in the beginning stages, you're not gonna make any money. I didn't make any money, but because I loved it so much and I had a passion, I prayed about it. I'm like, God, give me the perseverance and then the patience, and lead me to people who wanna book me. So gradually, it didn't happen overnight. It takes time But people started noticing me and they started booking me. And one of the bookings that I had, that I vividly remember, it was a backyard birthday party, and there was this glass table that I used. And it was very windy that day, and we had all these customized cupcakes and cookies, and it looked so beautiful. And I left, and I get a call that the table fell. Oh, wow. I was so shaken. I will never forget that day. And I went back and I had to pick up the pieces, and I'm telling myself, this is the end. No one will ever book me again. Because this lady gave me the opportunity, and I messed it up, and I was so hard on myself, and I kept apologizing, I'm sorry. And it was a huge lesson. And for a while, I had this trauma where I will set up an event and then I'm waiting for a call that they're gonna call me and say something went wrong. And that's something I had to pray about and just have that confidence. And so I always double check, triple check, make sure it's firm, make sure it's nothing's going to happen. Yeah. Oh. So there's so many things that business owners face, and people just see the outcome and then they think, oh, you made it, but they don't know what goes on behind the scenes. The prayers, the perseverance, the patience, and dealing with different clients, people with different temperaments. People keep changing their minds, and then you can't really be angry because the customer is always right. And when you are angry, even when it's the customer's fault, you can't really show any attitude, because at the end of the day, your story is going to be, oh, you're a business owner, you have to be courteous at all times. And so in this business, you have to have patience. You need to learn to communicate effectively with people, and ensure that you just give your all. Even when the money is less, give your all. Because at the end of the day, it's, if you want to have something of substance, you can't always look at the money. And so if you love it, just give your all, and God will definitely make a way. Amen.
So before the former celebrants go, I wanted to also share a time where I was ready to quit. I'll never forget, like the floor wrap business. It was the weekend before my father and my brother's funeral. The weekend before. We had 3 jobs back to back, and that time, I think I had given birth, it was like only 3 months or 2 months at that time. So I'm home with the baby, the team is out there working, and I'm monitoring at home on phone, FaceTime, and things like that. We had one print, it was a Roman numeral date. All of a sudden, everything seemed fine. It looked fine when they sent me the pictures. And then I get a phone call later, it says, oh, the month is missing one of the Roman numeral letters. So it makes it look like the wedding is October versus September. So, and it's in all of the pictures and it's in all of the videos already. So when this comes, you have to take accountability. And unfortunately, there are some losses. And when I reviewed with my attorney, I was advised to give the percentage back, which the client was requesting for, and I couldn't even argue with that. The same venue, the same day, we had both jobs. It was a morning wedding and the evening wedding. We had both bookings. 30 minutes before their event is starting, my team is in New Jersey. My lead guy calls me, he's like, Tiffany? I said, what happened? The client says that this is the wrong color. I said, what? What are you talking about? Now, I'm already, numbers are going in my head. I'm holding my baby. I start panting. My husband is, Joshua's the one who struggled. What happened was, there was a production error. When I submitted it for printing, the weekend before my father's funeral, and my brother's funeral in America,
they ended up switching. It was the correct names, but they ended up switching it. So it was originally supposed to be like a light pink and a green, and it was an olive and purple. Jesus. And it was the bride who saw it first. 30 minutes before the wedding starts, where am I gonna start with reprinting for it to even get to Jersey from the Bronx? Then the following day, so this is Saturday and then Sunday's wedding. My team is on location in Jersey again. The planner is looking at the print, and then my nephew calls me, one of my lead guys, he calls me like, Tiffany, pieces and puzzle, something is not right. So we keep looking at it on video, I'm like, what do you mean? Just put this piece here, put this piece here, and that's it. He's like, no, Tiffany, it's mirrored. Something is mirrored. We only had like an hour. I said, I'm contacting supply. I'm like, listen, this is the situation. I need a reprint ASAP. By the time the planner put 2 and 2 together, he said, just stop. Just stop. I said, Jesus. So now my heart. I have Saturday situation and then Sunday situation, and I'm grieving at the same time. I'm a nursing mom. And all I'm thinking about is numbers in my head. I'm looking at the account. God, I still gotta pay my staff. Regardless, they did the work. At the end of the day, I have to be accountable. I'm the business owner. My name is on the contract. It's not theirs. I'm the one who dispatched the team to go. That Monday, hey, me and my attorney, we going through, figuring out what we're gonna say. Okay, he's coaching me, okay, do this, say this. You would think like, oh, what you got an attorney for? Okay, make sure when you have a business in America, you have an attorney on speed dial. Don't think that you're no, listen, you need an attorney on speed dial ready, because you just never know when things can go wrong. You have to be prepared, because they're gonna tell you what to say and what to do. So by the grace of God, unfortunately, there was some losses, but there's nothing I can do about it. But by the grace of God, at least, Treasury Events is still here and live, and my business didn't end. I thought I was done. Reviews in India, they wrote it. One of them wrote it. And after that, guess what I learned? We had to put a new clause in my contract. It's called an arbitration clause. So make sure you have that. So on to the former celebrants.
Thank you. All right. Sister, I'll give you about 30 seconds.
I'll make it quick, yes. I just want to piggyback on what Naomi and Esther mentioned regarding the depression stages. And sometimes the businesses go up and down. I'm sure everybody is aware, whether you have a business or not, things just goes up and down. But what I've learned throughout that process is closed mouths also don't get fed. So during my down season, like I just became a mom and I took a hiatus over on my juice business. But I had a friend who got married in September, and once they mentioned that they were getting married, I asked them, hey, I've never bartended a wedding before, but I know what to do. I have my license. If you give me the opportunity to do so, I can do that for you. They said, you know, she do smoothies and juices, how can she bartend? But again, they don't know that this is what I can do behind the scenes. So I put myself out there. Long story short, the event was successful, and now I have future bookings for that.
Wow.
Because I didn't keep my mouth shut. I kind of just took a leap of faith and asked if I can do it, and that helped.
Give them a surprise. I love that. Thank you very much. Let me go to the thanks. So please, I'll give you a chance to ask a question to Tiffany. And after that, we'll be good. So let them ask their questions. You have actually enjoyed Tiffany's services before, and also any of these people here. Okay. We and Fabrice, not that we are here in Confucius. Say it as it is. In 1 minute, share your experience with us. Any of these vendors, why not call back to take your money? Why not go see you? Yes.
All right. What I would say is having a celebration or a program is not easy, and the word negligence is what you have to put on speed dial in your mind. cannot be negligent when you are planning a program. You have to pray. Because the book is Celeprayte, right? So the book is telling you something. That's to celebrate something, there's a pray in it. You have to pray, and you have to pray fervently. Because the places where you don't expect issues or situations to arise, those are the places that situations are going to arise. I had an event not too long ago, I think in the summer, and I'm a very prayerful woman. I pray a lot. But I was a little negligent because I thought, okay, because I pray, I don't have to do a diligent prayer on this program. Everything is going to be fine. But then again, Tiffany mentioned something, that not everybody is happy with you when you are having a celebration. It could be your immediate family member, it can be your friends. Mind you, the attacks that come, they are not always our family old people, because us, we are from Ghana. They be I'm sorry to say that. So I want to grow and be an old lady, or so I don't put my mind on those things, which we shouldn't do. Because not only old people, old ladies, old men are witches and wizards. Some of our friends are. You would marvel. Some of our friends, yes, and this, we are not missing words here. We are trying to raise an awareness for us, because if we knew this, some of us would not be in those corners that we were before. So you are yet to have an event, or you have an event planned, or that you have an event. Now you're going to be mindful. Now you're going to be aware of yourself. That, okay, I cannot take things for granted for things to infamy. Yes. And this is what happened. Kwesi and Tiffany, they were amazing. And yes, I'm they're not gonna whip me for saying that they were amazing. And I said they did something wrong. They were amazing. Everything from communication to monetary, they're like, okay, let's meet you at this point. Let's, and we work together, and I will want you all to, recommend them to you if you want to have an event. Of course, you are here, so you can't go outside and call somebody else. You're gonna call one of these event vendors. But let's also take this. I scheduled my hairdresser. My hairdresser scheduled me at 10 o'clock. So exactly 10 o'clock I was there. When I went, she didn't tell me that, okay, well, although I have you at 10, when you come, I have 2 other people. It's first come, first serve. She didn't tell me that. So I go there, she has 2 other people. Already this lady knows I have an event coming up. And my thing is, okay, let me do my hair faster so I can go do my makeup, and then I'm done. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to be late. Somebody will say, why didn't you let them come to the house? Nina is Caterer. Okay, so that was just by the way. If you have the opportunity for them to come to your house, let them come, because it's very convenient. I was trying to be a little stingy, and things really didn't go well the way I planned it. Yeah. So this hairdresser had me at 10, and I left there at 4. Yes. If you're 4 years, so now I have a little time out. Event starts at 7. I have a little time to do my makeup. My makeup artist was like, okay, I'm gonna come to your house. house, but then I'm going to go to work first before I come because she has another job. And I'm like, I'm gonna be late. She's like, oh, okay, if you're gonna be late, then come to my job. I'm gonna do it for you. And this is Prada store in West Side. I think, I forgot the streets. She's like, okay, come, I'm gonna do it for you, quick, then you go. I'm like, okay, my face is gonna, I'm not gonna look fresh. She's like, no, the way I'm gonna do it, she's good. I'm gonna do it, you're gonna look fine. I said, okay, let me go. So from 4 o'clock, I went straight, jump on the train, and then went to West Side. I had to change like 2 trains and went there. I got there at 6. Now she said, oh, mini blade, I'm in the bay when near you. So at the event starts at 7 in the Bronx, Truxneck. Now I'm in West Side. I'm sitting in front of some, products, beauty, parlor or whatever. So now she goes around for like 30 minutes, come back with whatever she's gonna use for my eyebrows. She does the thing, talks a little, does the thing. I left the place at 7:30. I come to the train station, I couldn't find a train. There was no train, so I had to wait. I waited for about 30 minutes at the train station. Tiffany started calling me. Where are you? People are here. People are because you should be coming. You gave us 7. It's 8 o'clock. I'm like, Tiffany, maybe I'm coming. I'm on my way. And I was still in West Side. I have to transfer I have to take a train to transfer to the East Side because I am on the East Side before I can get home. Now at 8:10, I get to East Side. And then I bought the train. By the time I got home, it was almost 9 o'clock. Now I have to go and put my dress on. My gown, my goodness, came from Ghana. It didn't fit.
And might I add that designer I had referred about 5 different times, and everyone's gown fit this year. She's the only one whose gown did not fit on her.
And it was 2 gowns, none of them fit. The other one couldn't even fit my tie. It couldn't even go, I couldn't even wear it. But thank God, it came like a week before. So now I have to give out another money for somebody to make a dress for me on speed, quick, fast connection. Yeah, we are from Ghana, so we don't speak a lot of English. I'm sorry. So now I got a dress. It was like 9:30. I get to my event, and thank God the place was looking beautiful because Questy was there with the decor, and Tiffany had me on a beautiful floor wrap. The food was, on the side beautifully. Now it comes to the time to share food. And then the same person, the vendor that brought the food, she brought somebody, and then now they're telling people, you can't have this, you can have that. Meanwhile, I have given enough money. My husband and I gave enough money that people should eat and make merry because that's why they are there. And I specifically told her that let them be full, let them, because they put the what did you mean? So now they're being stingy with the food. They're cursing people out at the table. The vendor brought somebody that is telling people, oh, why are you asking for fish? You can't ask for fish. You can't get And then when the message got to me, what do you think I'm gonna feel? Frustrated. I didn't know what to do. You know? So these are the things. Initially, I did not think that these were attacks. But these were attacks. First of all, they didn't even want me to get to my event. You understand? People will come and sit, and then they will get up and go. And say what? Oh, she didn't come. Or, oh, everything was nasty or whatever. Eventually, I came, and then it was at a food, station that was messing up. So that's what I mentioned the word negligence. You cannot be negligent, even if you don't go to church. People tell me I'm not a Christian, I'm not religious, yes? But when you're going to have a celebration, try and be religious for that 1 month. Maybe God is gonna hear you or not, but try. Because you cannot say, oh, nothing is gonna happen, and then you do whatever you like, because there are so many things. People fall at their events. Somebody might die before your event, or even at the course of your event. My sister-in-law got into an accident because she drove from Pennsylvania to the event. When they were leaving, they got into an accident. Her car was totaled. So you see, the attacks were there. The enemy had it bad for me. But thank God that God had the final say. He brought me out of that situation. At the end of the day, everything went well. And I will say that I thank God for everything. And thank you, Percy, once again. Thank you, Tiffany, once again.
Thank you very much. I think I have to time up. Yeah, even though we're enjoying the story, but 1 hour story is a very long one. So please, we have a lot to do, and time is almost running out. I know Caterer doesn't talk much. He's a 1 minute man, very fast. Thank you, Caterer. Adai, Okasa under 1 minute, you never go above that. Don't get it twisted, I'm on here. Caterer, we are 2 hours man. Young.
Hi everybody. I just want to share my experience by saying that before your wedding starts or before anything, first thing that you have to do is just make sure that whenever you and your partner come together that you're going to get married, stop praying. Forget about these friends and everybody. Forget about everybody. For that moment, please pray with your partner. That's the first thing you're supposed to do. Find a date, pray about it before you even start looking for halls. Because the hall that you go to, the event centers that you go to, like I'm really happy that I found my wife, because the beginning of everything she was like, oh, where are we going? I was like, listen, we're not going to do this. We have to at least fast for a month before we even start everything.
Hey, 1 month.
I know a lot of people don't know me like that, but I don't joke when it comes to God. And I'm not going to say anything, but Tiffany, when you go to Tiffany, please make your money ready. I'm not gonna lie. Like, honestly speaking, after the prayers is when you come to these beautiful ladies here, because when you do all the prayers, God is going to tell you when, who, how, this and that. Because a lot of people just go in and they don't have no experience, they don't know who to talk to, they just talk to anybody, they just share information with anybody. And I'm telling you, whenever you're getting married, your information sharing is a big thing. Sometimes you have to communicate with your partner, do some prayers about it before you even tell your family. Because it's not everybody that is there for you. It's not everybody that understands what you're going through, especially financially. It's a big tax. A lot of people think it's a joke. It's not a joke. If you think this is what you can do this. Talk to them. And I'm telling you, Genevieve, I saw Genevieve here. Genevieve, when we told her what we got, she came back telling her, oh, please, I said, sister, and honestly speaking, sometimes we all think about, oh, I know this guy, I know this girl, she can do this, she can do that. If you pay for something to be done, please stop stop that, because they're going to friend zone you to do the good work for you. I'm telling you, they're going to be like, oh, and when you do that, somebody come, oh, it's okay. But you want somebody to work for you, and when they come, they feel like, wow, they did it. They got it done. This is what I wanted. This is what these people did. They did an amazing job. They've done incredible job. Not just for you, because the vendors are getting recommendation as well. And you, the individual, be like, go to the wedding, they're fair. And I'm not one son. And one thing that I would say that during the time of our wedding, before our wedding happened, be very careful with certain people you even choose as your bridesmaid. Be careful with certain people you choose as your groomsmen. My groomsmen, especially my best man, Vuga. I don't know how to thank him, but listen. Pray about it. Let people pray to God. First thing, I just pray to God, because when I was praying, initially I wanted to choose somebody else to be the best man, but I was like, wait, somebody that can handle the whole atmosphere for me, especially the guys. And Vuga, he did an amazing job. Honestly, he did an amazing job. It's not because he's here, but everybody saw it. Even we had a fight with our coordinator, but Vuga stood in and like, Kotoro, Kosoro, I'll deal with it. And it's like, he did an amazing job. My groomsmen did an amazing job. Maid of honor, they did an amazing job. My wife had 1 or 2 with them, but when she comes to me, I'll be like, listen, Obi I was stressed you film. When I your wedding, film, we don't have time. We don't have time to back and forth with you, because we've given you, this is what we're coming with, and we knew what we wanted. You can't come in and, tell us things that it's not something that we want, because I want my wife to be happy.
Thank you.
Oh yes, sir.
Thank you. Put your hands together for Kotoro. Thank you very much. And then one minute to know. Okay, this is what we're going to do now. In fact, I'm enjoying the talking, but too much of everything makes it boring. Right? Thank you guys. Fantastic. The books are still there. It's open. Please get them now so that she will start signing them very soon. And we also still have a cake to cut. And we still have a food to eat. And the drinks are there to be drunk too. And music to be listening to. And so, Tiffany, please, with all due respect, the best I can do to this panelist, if they're so great, is 1 minute. Anything after that will be excess. Thank you. 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm really short. I just wanted to add to, I'm sorry, Couture, okay. And to Tiffany even creating this book, I think that it's amazing, because definitely, as he said, especially when you're getting married, pray about it. Even if you have to go into fasting and prayers to really seek God's guidance on who to have in your wedding. Because sometimes the people around you, they may be friends with you, but in that moment of celebration, they don't even realize themselves that Umupe is coming out. It's because they don't even know it. Maybe they're internally, they want to get married so bad, but they don't even know. So once they see you happy, something takes over them without them even knowing. And so sometimes you have to pray about it. You can be happy when we're single. Once I'm starting to get married now, there's something in you that is not happy about that. So really pray about it, because
somebody close to you while you're getting married and they're not happy for you, even what they're praying or thinking in their mind at the same time that you are going down the aisle, it can even be a detriment to you in your marriage, the blessing that the union you guys are coming into. So really pray about it. That's all I want to say. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Well, my last remark to end the panel discussion, which
And there
I'm
will be
so
no more
thankful
talking.
from you all, yes, no more, is essentially the part about the people that you have around you when it comes to you planning any type of event that you have. I can say it only because the person actually showed up, which I'm surprised, but it's okay, I'm grateful. I remember during the time of my wedding planning, and it's sad because sometimes when you're younger, a lot of things you're not mature in. Sometimes we don't have bonus, sometimes we feel shy. And I also write about that when you're approaching a vendor and you choose to no longer, once you reach out to them, you make your inquiry, and you go back and you discuss with your fiance or your family or things like that, whoever's gonna cover the cost. If you decide to no longer use your services, the nice thing that you can at least do is just reach back out and say, you know what, I reviewed the budget and unfortunately you are not fitting into it at this time. Is there something that you can potentially do to lower this cost? Or perhaps you just decline your services altogether. But the point is to reach back and let them know, and not for them to come to you and follow up weeks down the line and then you don't use them. So this particular vendor, I had at that time a former friend, and they had used this vendor's services 3 times in the family within a 2-year period. All of a sudden, it's my wedding time now, and I say, oh, I want to use so-and-so for my wedding. I want them to do this for me. And they say, oh, you know, that vendor, actually, he's not all that. He's not as good as you said. When the footage came back, we felt like this and that was not well, and this and that. And I said, but in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe they mean well, because if they've used them so many times and if they're gonna say that it's not working out, then I should probably follow with what they said or their advice, because I'm thinking, oh, this is somebody who I'm trusting, but I wasn't that mature at that time until later on down the line, and then that's when it clicked, when an incident occurred about 2 years ago, and I realized, wait a minute, the reason why this person didn't even want me to use this person was because they didn't want me to go viral, or they felt like, oh, maybe she's not deserving of that, so let her go and use somebody else. And then that's when I realized, when he showed up to my wedding in humility, and then today he's here at my book launch, and I'm like, every time I reach out to him and say, hey, I'm doing this, brother, or I'm doing this, he shows up. And for that, I like to say, honestly, Maxwell, God bless you. Like, even joining you as your junior colleague in the industry, and the fact that it pained me more was because I literally remember Max from when he was even an apprentice, and I've seen this man's business grow to like worldwide. So the fact that I was so immature at that time and I wasn't strong in my prayers to realize that that person practically derailed me. If he wasn't as humble as he was, he could have been like, yo, F this girl, forget her. You understand? But he showed up to my wedding. He literally showed up. And then today he's here. And it's like, wow. Like, Maxwell. I mean, like, God bless you. And the reason why you continue to grow and is the heart that you have. And I realized that I remember when people tried to literally suppress you. I witnessed it with my own eyes. But today, where is that person? Where are they? Literally, I have to like book an appointment to even talk to him sometimes. And that made me realize that sometimes there's just different levels when it comes to this grace thing. But I'm glad that he never had it in his heart and say, oh, nah, Tiffany, nah, whatever. So I'm so grateful to you that out of your busy schedule, you're even here to show support. And I just wanted to make sure that I acknowledge that in the public eye. God bless you, my dear.
All right, thank you very much. At this point, we end the panelist discussion. They take a gift from the author. Yes, a special gift box to you. In fact, the gift box has a card of $10,000 shopping card. Yes. And please, the books, we're going to buy the book. Great. You
authors in America. African-American author, the greatest African-American author in America, in Jesus' name.
Amen. So, at this point, Celeprayte book, officially written by Tiffany Adjei, is hereby launched. Congratulations to you, Tiffany.
Name of the Father,
the Son, and the Son. Amen.
Me say we dream on ya, me say we dream on